Since the invasion of British, the ownership of the forest was at stake. The British realized revenue potentiality of Indian forests. So to control the forests, they instituted a forest department in 1864. The first Forest Act was promulgated in 1865. This set the process of snatching away of natural rights and properties of tribals. After the independence, India formulated a national forest policy in 1952. It depleted and colonized the forests by translating their natural rights to concessions and exceptions. In addition, Section 3 of 1988 Forest Policy further accentuated the reduction of the accessibility of forests by creating prohibited areas and made the trespassing illegal. This rendered existence of tribals illegal in their own homeland. These tribals are considered uncivilized. Elite environmentalists cry the danger of deforestation caused by these inhabitants, endangering the environment of India. So Indian government, in its eagerness to civilize them and to protect the environment, issued different GOs to evict the tribals from forests. These GOs ignored the constitutional right of consent of tribals. A transfer of land cannot be effected without their own informed consent. So Land Acquisition Act was amended in 1998. The rights of the tribals are being sliced. The district collector decides who is to be displaced. In addition, Ministry of Forests and Environment issued a notice to all forest departments to evict all encroachers by September 30th, 2002. So the result was forceful eviction of tribals. This ruthless displacement in remote hamlets of Bhadrachalam forest range in Andhra Pradesh is an attempt of many such acts. Tribals have become encroachers in their own land. What a paradox. Landlessness has become curse in their lives. The innocent tribals have lost their lands to government regulations and to non-tribals. Now they are on an unending search to find a place for habitation.
వారు ఎక్కడెక్కడ నుంచి జమ అయ్యి మళ్ళీ అక్కడ వచ్చి కూడిరి వారికి పట్టాలు ఇచ్చారు.
The only aim of government is to evict these tribals without thinking of proper rehabilitation. So they keep coming back.
The government once asked me to motivate the people to go out and live in the land where they are giving. One lady asked me in Telugu, "Chapalu disi cheru baita este batikitta sir." So the land that the government is going to give, when it is not within the forest, they cannot live. A fish cannot live without the water. So he says, a tribe cannot live outside the forest.
ఛత్తీస్గఢ్ పంపించారు ముందు ఈ లారీలు తీసుకెళ్లారు సార్ మొత్తం మళ్ళీ వచ్చి 2 సార్లు మొత్తం పాకలి గడ్డి గిడ్డి అన్ని మొత్తం
పీకేశారు సార్ వాసలు గీసలకి అంత మొత్తం పీకేశారు. పీకేసినప్పుడు మళ్ళీ వచ్చి మళ్ళీ ఇల్లు కట్టాను సార్. మేము ఇక్కడే ఉంటాం, చచ్చిపోతాం ఇక్కడే, బతుకుతాం ఇక్కడే సార్. మేము ఎక్కడ వెళ్ళం.
Forests are the cultural heritage of these tribals. Culturally, they own the forests, but government claims the ownership of these forests. These tribals are not even aware of the fact. From where does this government come?
గవర్నమెంట్ భద్రాచలంలో ఉందన్నారు కదా,
ఉన్నారు.
ఇప్పుడు ఆ గవర్నమెంట్ ఎవరిది?
గవర్నమెంటా?
ఎక్కడి నుంచి వచ్చింది ఆ గవర్నమెంట్?
ఎక్కడి నుంచి వచ్చింది దానికేం తెలుసు. కానీ మాత్రము వారు ఇక్కడి నుంచి ఏది మేడ్ చేయకుండు, ఏది వరం చేయకుండు, ఏది చేయకుండు అని మళ్ళీ వారు చెప్తూ.
Tribals have an exclusive lifestyle beyond the boundaries and limitations of government. The government fails to understand their way of living.
This is the problem of mere understanding. No? From the human right point of view, the tribes are right. They have the right to live anywhere in the forest. No? So that's where the minority community, which is called the tribal community, is not totally understood both by the government and by the plain area people. No? Plain area people go by the properties, personal properties, but the tribes have community properties. No? For them, the forest is the mother, and they would like to live anywhere where they want. So now, since we come with that institutional setup, both the government and the plain area people, so you have your own land, you have your own property, and you have personal belongings. But the tribe don't have this. So that's where the understanding of the culture of the tribes, understanding their mentality, understanding their own way of living, is becoming a real clash between the two groups.
In this clash of understanding, the government always has an upper hand. The government wants them to stay out of the forests. Would they like to stay out?
ఆడున్నా ఇక్కడే ఈ భూములు విడిచి ఎక్కడ పోతాం?
మళ్ళీ తిరిగి వచ్చేస్తారు అక్కడి నుంచి?
వస్తాం.
బస్తీలో ఉండలేరా మీరు అక్కడ?
అక్కడ ఉంటే మాకేం దొరుకుతాయి? గరీబ్ మనుషులు మేము. ఇదే దీనికే పని చేసుకుంటే అంత దొరుకుతాయి మొత్తం. భూములతోటే పని.
Apart from not owning a land, even those tribals who own land were not given patas.
పట్టాలు అసలు ఇవ్వలేదు, ఒక్కడు కూడా ఇవ్వలేదు. మరి ఏది ఇది ఇస్తామంటారు, అది ఇస్తామంటారు, డబ్బులు తీసుకుంటారు, మరి ఇవ్వటం లేదు. అంత డబ్బులు తీసుకునేవాడే కానీ పట్టించేవాడు లేదు.
The corrupt forest officials are actually behind the deforestation. Recently in Pasra Forest Range in Warangal district of Andhra Pradesh, forest officials were involved in cutting of 80,000 trees. Trees worth of 4 crores were cut in just 3 months. From the Forest Developmental Fund received from the World Bank, rupees 1,12,792 were spent on a birthday party of S.K. Das, the chief conservator of forests, in the pretext of reception given to the delegates from World Bank in Viceroy Hotel in Hyderabad. But the World Bank delegation hasn't come to India. The Indian government, the caretaker of environment, in its pretentious national interest, actually sliced out the forests to the profit-driven and hazardous companies and projects like Uranium Corporation of India Limited, Kaiga Nuclear Power Plant, Narmada Dam, etc. Do these protect the forests? The irony is, tribal population is only 7.85% of Indian population. So the dependency on forests for their needs is only 7.85%. But the rest of the Indian population is 92.15%, whose dependency on forests for their greed deplete and denude the forests to the extent of 92.15%.